Now Millie has substituted her field hockey stick for an oar. And it went all downhill for the Hawkeyes. Down goes Stout, the three-time Division III national champion. But for the kids who we wave to on fall Saturdays, they know Micah as a hero. Sometimes the basket looks 10 feet wide, and tonight the Gophers took advantage of that, ending Iowa's 15-year drought and getting them back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 15 years. That's right, Morgan. It is transfer portal season, and there's no offseason for head coaches Ben McCollum and Jan Jensen as they try to navigate the transfer portal. Both teams have been active in their recruiting so far, but have seen different results. Starting with the men's team, according to On3 reporter Pete Nakos, Alvaro Folgueras and his team members met with the Hawkeyes on Wednesday to discuss his future with the Hawkeyes. The Daily Iowan will have all the coverage of the transfer portal news for both men's and women's basketball. It's starting to feel like baseball season with this weather. As you might recall, last year, Iowa's home opener canceled due to the cold and snow, but Hawkeye fans got a taste of spring fever yesterday as they returned to Dwayne Banks Field to take on UW-Platteville. I thought it was a bit of a reach for the Bears, but definitely a position of need. You know, they signed Garrett Bradbury in the offseason. Logan Jones, similar build to Garrett Bradbury. I think that he'll be a day one starter for the Bears. I know this is very surprising to me. I expected Shire to be an undrafted guy, very undersized for a linebacker, only started 1 year for the Hawkeyes, but they pick him up at pick 183, 83 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble this year. And I project him to be maybe a special teamer type of guy, maybe bounce on and off the practice squad for the Cardinals this season. TJ Hall, who graced this very studio as a journalism student, shout out to him. He had 1 interception this past year in 2025. He has great size for an NFL corner. He's 6'4", he's super tall and lanky. "33 miles. That's how far Layla Hayes is from her home in Wasilla, Alaska. Why Iowa, you may ask? Well, Hayes shares a special connection with the last Alaskan to call Iowa City her home. Freshman center Layla Hayes is one of the highest recruits all time to come out of the state of Alaska. But despite living so far from Iowa City, it didn't take long to realize she was destined to become a Hawkeye.
I came when Caitlin was still playing, so I was able to watch her break the record, and I was able to be in the crowd with all those fans, and it was just an amazing environment.
She took a few more visits. I kind of had a feeling then. She seemed to have such a good relationship with Jan, and I know that that was really important to her.
And while Layla is far from home, she's been thriving in her freshman season, leaning on her close relationship with her mother.
She's the youngest of 4, and she went the furthest away. So that's been an adjustment, empty nesting, and then you've got a kid really far away. But the great thing is she's pretty easy to watch on TV. She calls almost every day.
She's who I go to for everything, and then my siblings were all 3 years apart, and there's 4 of us, so we are super close.
But Layla's Iowa connection stems even farther, as the last Alaskan to wear the black and gold is former point guard Leah Magner, now Leah Hansen, who is one of Amber's closest childhood friends.
She has been one of my best friends, you know, as an adult as well. And every time I'm back in Alaska, I go see them and I hang out with them.
And while it wasn't necessarily Leah who convinced Layla to become a Hawkeye, Layla still honors her family friend by deciding to follow in Leah's footsteps by wearing the same number Leah wore, number 12.
It's really awesome. I mean, she's such an amazing part of our lives. And
I was very, very touched that she wanted to do that. But at the same time, I told her, just make it your own number and it's your legacy. I definitely wanted this to be her own decision. But I just flat out said, if you want to be the best post you can possibly be, you're not going to have anybody better to teach you than Jan Jensen.
The pride of Alaska is already off to a hot start in her Hawkeye career. The 6'5" center is set to become a cornerstone for the Hawkeyes over the next few seasons. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Cole Krueger, DI-TV Sports. The Hawkeyes hadn't lost to the Minnesota Golden Gophers since 2014. And coming into Friday night's duel with momentum, the last thing Iowa fans expected was to be dug into a 10-point hole. After winning just one of their first 5 matches, the Hawkeyes found themselves in a 15-5 hole. Iowa's only hope, the last 5 wrestlers walking down this tunnel. Caliendo and Kennedy cut the Gopher lead to just 2, but when Arnold matched up with 4th-ranked Max McAnally, the match went to sudden victory, with Iowa ending up on the wrong side.
What matters is that you go out there and you wrestle your match. And we have more weight classes than 4 that can do that, or 2. And we have to be able to do that job when we're under duress, maybe.
The 197-pound matchup proved to be the nail in the coffin as Minnesota turned their M into a W.
We had 2 matches where we had guys stop wrestling before the clock was done ticking. That cannot happen. That will not happen.
It sucks. Like you said, we've got to have effort out there. We gotta put our arm around each other and get each other going.
With the Hawks down 8, the dwindling Carver crowd started to pack their bags and head towards the exits.
We have the guys in the room. I will maintain that. I will be consistent.
And I think a lot of it gets put on Tom, but I think that's bull crap. You know what I mean? I think that it's just as much my fault as it is his fault.
With tonight's dual victory, the Gophers snapped their 8-duel losing streak against the Hawkeyes and sparked more conversation here at Carver Hawkeye Arena and the future of the Iowa program and the futures of Tom and Terry Brands. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Cole Krueger, DI TV Sports.